Welcome to the middle of the working week. It's Wednesday the 25th of September. And as far as Thai Mail and PHANG is concerned here on the coast, an absolutely spectacular day. Very, very little wind, very low swell in the water. In fact, I'd love to be out in the water right now. Speaking of which, thank you to 5-Star Marine, 5-Star Marine Phuket.com. And I'm actually catching up with Sean today, so I think I'll probably have a bit of news for you tomorrow. Maybe even an interview that we can use on the Saturday program about some of the amazing work by Living Waters Phuket, helping with floods up in northern Thailand. We will be speaking about the floods up in specifically Chiang Mai a bit later, but this news came through last night. Monumental step, says France24.com. Thai King signs same-sex marriage into law, a first in Southeast Asia. And Thailand yesterday became the first country in Southeast Asia to legalise same-sex union after King Maha Vajiralongkorn signed a historic marriage equality law. And currently only 2 countries in Asia recognise same-sex marriage, that's Taiwan and Nepal. And the King gave royal assent to the new law passed by Parliament in June, which will take effect in 120 days, meaning the first weddings are expected to take place in January. The law on marriage now uses gender-neutral terms in place of men, women, husbands and wives, and also grants adoption and inheritance rights to same-sex couples. And Thailand has long had an international reputation for tolerance of the LGBTQ community, and opinion polls reported in local media have shown overwhelming public support for equal marriage. However, much of the Buddhist majority kingdom retains traditional and conservative values, and LGBTQ people say they still face barriers and discrimination in everyday life. Just some other details here from nationthailand.com on their Facebook page. It says a 120-day moratorium has been implemented to allow for necessary legal adjustment, with the first same-sex weddings expected to take place in early 2025. So, deal's done on that one. Government came through on its promise, and that's done and dusted. And we imagine we'll be talking about marriages, same-sex marriages, in January next year. Now let's go to the floods up in the north, and poor old Chiang Mai's been hit again. We go to nationthailand.com. Flooding in Chiang Mai now under control, according to the governor. And heavy rain over the past few days caused 15 of 25 districts in Chiang Mai to experience flooding. However, the situation in 14 districts has now been resolved, leaving only Mea Rim district underwater. Local officials said the water management activities on the Ping River had proceeded smoothly, and the flood water was expected to recede by midnight today. That would have been midnight Tuesday if there were no more downpours. And the city district was still able to cope with more flood water, with 6 floodgates in the Tawang Tan sub-district now opened and obstacles on waterways removed to boost drainage. So we'll keep on following that and any impact those floodwaters may have as they head downstream. Some of that video footage from Walkabout Wayne YouTube channel. Now talking about the ETA, the Electronic Travel Authorization. There seems to be a lot of misunderstanding on the internet about it. Firstly, just going to go through some of the what it really means for Thailand, and then some news about a possible delay. We start with PattayaMail.com. Electronic entry clearance topples seamless travel dreams. I think a lot of people still seeing the new ETA when it comes into force, it's not in force at the moment, as some sort of additional encumbrance to travel to Thailand. I think we probably need to keep things in perspective and also look at what other countries are doing. Thailand really just following the rest of them. Sometime next year, the new Foreign Affairs Minister says the start date is still under review. It will be compulsory for all visa-exempt travellers to obtain pre-flight approval via the online portal known as Electronic Travel Authorization. This is the ETA. Now, nobody's seen any forms or websites yet, but they could well require an accommodation address in Thailand and an exit strategy, basically a proof of a flight out of the country. Thailand's neighbours are adopting a similar approach. Visa-exempt tourists to the Philippines must register online at least 72 hours prior to departure, and Cambodia is busy testing out a compulsory pre-flight authorisation for flights landing at Phnom Penh and Siem Reap. And the UK is currently requiring visa-exempt tourists to apply 3 days in advance, but they recommend 30, while the EU is launching an authorisation program for those foreigners wishing to enter the 30 countries but do not have a formal visa. So pretty much in all countries, including in Thailand, it's only people who are coming in visa-exempt. Those people on formal visas who have pre-applied for a visa, it looks like it's not going to apply to them. And this Pattaya Mail article continues, the electronic authorisation does not mean the introduction of compulsory visa via the back door. They say that visa-exempt travellers have to provide less information than for formal visa applicants. So there's no bank details required. They're not going to try and check your tax ID or anything. Of course, the article continues, the move to prior vetting for all is inevitable in today's world. For example, the Thai government's clearly concerned by the influx of so many Chinese tourists, among them an unknown number working illegally. And then a bit further down, the introduction of electronic clearance for visa-less entrance is in fact the triumph of national security concerns over free-flow traffic. And then it's asking, if you wish to quote or reference this article, please credit the Pattaya Mail. So I'm crediting the Pattaya Mail, as of course I do every time. So just a bit more perspective there from the writer Barry Kenyon. But an announcement from the Foreign Minister yesterday for those people who are worried about an imminent introduction of the ETA. We go to nationthailand.com. Thailand postpones automated entry for foreign tourists. In the implementation of an electronic travel authorisation system for foreign tourists entering Thailand has been postponed, according to the Foreign Ministry. The ETA system, designed to streamline immigration procedures for visitors, was originally scheduled to launch in December this year. However, the ministry said a launch date is yet to be determined, as coordination with relevant agencies is still ongoing. That coordination with relevant agencies ongoing has stopped many things happening in Thailand, including trying to get the speed cameras sending out automatic fines to people. They've been trying to get that happening for about 15 years now. Haven't yet succeeded. And the ETA system will allow foreign tourists from 93 countries granted visa-free entry to register online prior to their arrival. And the QR code they receive on registration can then be used to pass through automated immigration gates. So you see, what you lose on the swings, you gain on the roundabouts, because you'll spend, 5 minutes filling out that information online before you come to Thailand. But once you come to Thailand, you head to those automated gates. So saves all those queues at immigration. The ministry said it remained committed to implementing ETA, but was currently working with other government agencies to finalise the details and ensure a smooth launch. And travellers are advised to monitor updates from the Foreign Ministry and the Immigration Bureau for the latest information on the ETA system's launch date. Or keep watching TNT, we'll make sure we get that information to you so you'll know a long time before if it's going to affect you. And just a poster-perfect day out on the water today. Sadly, my meeting with Sean this afternoon, I'm pretty sure, is going to be land-based. But it would be a great day out with 5 Star Marine if you'd like to head off and check those islands in Phang Bay. Let's talk cars in Thailand. The car market, often sort of seen as a bit of a bellwether for the economy of a country. Bangkok Post reporting car slump in August causes panic. And the sluggish automotive industry is causing concern as car manufacturing, domestic sales and exports all fell in August, according to the Federation of Thai Industries. Difficulty in gaining access to auto loans continues to be an obstacle, dampening sales, while shipping problems have caused delays to car exports. Those shipping problems were basically things like mould and mushrooms growing in the cars, and then the overseas countries saying you're trying to import plants into the country. And total car manufacturing in August stood at nearly 20,000 units, but that's a year-on-year decrease of nearly 30% from the same time last year. And car production for domestic sales plunged by 40.4% year-on-year, while cars manufactured for export decreased by 6.6% year-on-year. Total car sales in the country fell by nearly 25%, though sales of battery electronic vehicles, BEVs, and hybrid EVs rose by 20% and 35% respectively. We're certainly seeing a lot more EVs around the roads these days. I noted when I was in Kazakhstan in the city of Almaty that I just guessed that there was some 30% of the cars driving around were new EVs. Looked like a very new set of cars driving around that particular city. Here in Thailand, I think we've got a few years to go before we get to that situation, but there are some very nice electric cars currently available here in Thailand. Finally, this tragic story noted in Khao English on their Facebook page. A tragic incident occurred when an American pit bull attacked and killed a 67-year-old woman. This happened in the Samkok district in Pattaya Mail province. And police officers investigated the scene. They found Ms. Dang's bicycle fallen on the road with bloodstains on the ground. It's believed the dog chased and attacked her, causing the bicycle to fall and then bit her. And the woman's son found his mother with severe wounds. He carried her to a nearby auto repair shop near the village headman's office, about 600 metres from the incident site, to seek help. But when emergency services arrived, she'd already passed away. The dog's owner says initially it wasn't aggressive, but it had become more aggressive recently. It had previously bitten a nearby uncle. It's believed the dog escaped from its cage and attacked Ms. Dang. And of course there are thousands of dog bites every day. I was bitten by a soy dog here on the second road last year, but it was never going to be life-threatening. I think this is the problem with some of these breeds. Thanks for watching today. Hopefully you're a bit more up-to-date with things happening around Thailand. Thanks as always for people contributing to the comments section. Keep it nice. We'll see you tomorrow.